what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and it is still our April Fool's month. So tonight, I'm going to be talking about a 20th anniversary review. That's right, because in addition to just being April Fool's month, it is also our 20 and 26 review year. Okay, so during this year, we're going to be talking about movies that are celebrating their 20th anniversaries. Very similar. Matter of fact, same thing that we did in 2024 when we talked about movies that were celebrating their 20th anniversaries then. And tonight, fitting in with our theme of April Fools, where we're talking about parody movies this year, we got one that is, again, like I said, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Date Movie. That's right, Date Movie, the 20th anniversary of one of the not scary movie movies, or as they called them, movie movies, which were parodies of different movie genres that came out. Of course, like I said, you had Scary Movie, which was like the biggest pioneer of these. You had Epic Movie, you had a Disaster Movie, you had Dance Flick, yeah, all different types of ones, right? All to various different degrees of quality, most of them being bad. But this one's pretty interesting because Date Movie is one that wasn't great, but it also wasn't wasn't terrible, yeah, but before I get into any further, I want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and also big major announcement in June. We are going to be hosting our very first panel at the Capital City Anime Convention, or Capital City Anime Fest, excuse me. We'll be out there in Trenton, New Jersey, hosting our very first panel. I've been posting about it on our Instagram page. It's very exciting. Can't wait to tell you guys more about it. We are going to do our best to live stream at the same time. But we'll talk more about that. I'll keep reminding you guys every week. Just make sure you guys are there if you're in the area, or just tune in when we live stream. Okay, more information on that to come. But we're exciting times. Yeah, we're just gonna keep working hard at it. So thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for rocking with us and helping being the driving force behind us actually doing the convention run and all that good stuff. But we'll talk more about that soon. But for right now, let's get into the review for Date Movie. Excuse me. So, Date Movie, like I said, came out in 2006, 20 years ago, celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. Matter of fact, it turned 20 years old on February 17th. Which is very fitting because the 17th is only a few days after Valentine's Day. So this was kind of like a celebrating a holiday of sorts. But it's a parody romantic comedy film starring Allison Hannigan as Julia Jones, who's a hopeless romantic who finds her dream man, played by Adam Campbell, named Grant Fuck Your Daughter. Okay. It follows their relationship as they navigate meeting parents, planning a wedding, and dealing with a jealous rival, all while spoofing popular romantic comedy movies such as mainly Meet the Parents, or Meet the Fockers, Little Fockers. Well, not Little Fockers was not yet, but Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and stuff like that. One of the things about this movie, like I said, this did come out when the movies were, being made, and it was directed by Jason Freeberg, who is said to be one of the people who made those movies that kept coming out after Scary Movie possible. And like I said, part of them all being various degrees of quality, mostly on the decline. Okay. Let's see. This movie stars, like I said, Allison Hannigan, Adam Campbell, Eddie Griffin, Sophie Monk. You have Jennifer Coolidge, Mira Simhan. I think that's how you say her last name. Excuse me, I know I can't pronounce names sometimes. And excuse my voice too. I think I'm starting to lose my voice. So if I sound a little strained Okay, I think I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I'm actually not even going to be trying to do this review that long so I can rest my voice. I'm not sure if I'm losing it or not. Fred Willard, Carmen Electra, and there's one last person that I would like to name that's in this cast. Lil Jon is in this as well. And dang on it, I ain't gonna skip him. There we go. Tony Cox. Why Tony Cox all the way down at the bottom of this list? I'll never understand, but or this the list I'm looking at. So this movie kind of one of the things immediately that I noticed about this film is that it actually has a plot. So like a lot of the movies, like they lose their plot. Like I think one of the only ones that had a plot that was about as strong as this one was superhero movie, but I think they had like a different creative team. But this plot on this one is in the important part about these movies or parody movies in general having an actual plot, much like Thackham Hall, is that if you have a story as opposed to them just being, because that's one of the things that I think kind of ruined parody movies as well, is that after a while it was just jokes and references and blah blah blah, and it wasn't really about anything. Like, can you watch this movie independent of knowing what the references are? And this movie kind of started on shaky ground for me when it opened up, because it opens up with like a Napoleon Dynamite reference, and not even a reference, just like straight up pulling the character and making fun of the character. But so seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. We're gonna have a whole bunch of pointless references. I'm gonna have to go in there and shit all over this movie harder than the fucking cat on the toilet. Which, if you've seen this movie, you know what part I'm talking about. But interestingly enough, this movie actually showcased somewhat of a half decent plot. The main character, she is hold on, now I say her name, now I can't remember her name. Julia, she is an overweight, a massively overweight, let me not say massively overweight, but she is she's an overweight female, and she wants to find love, right? She wants to be in a relationship, she wants to find her Prince Charming, her husband, her everything. But the thing is, nobody wants to date her because she's fat. She doesn't really grab a lot of people's eye, grab a lot of people's attention. And that kind of, one of the things that I can say I do like about Julia is that she doesn't really let that get her down too much, especially in the opening montage where she's like skipping around town to the song "Milkshake." My milkshake brings the boss to the yard, and they're like, "It's better than yours." Damn right, it's better than yours. I can see. But which actually it is a funny sequence. There are a lot of good jokes, a lot of good gags in that. And it's like the movie isn't necessarily mean to Julia's character about her weight, but you could tell that it's just it's definitely they don't punch too hard with those jokes, which is something I definitely thought was going to happen. And honestly, relatively quickly, Julia loses that weight, like even before the end of the first act, because she ends up meeting somebody that she falls for. Her parents, played by Eddie Griffin and the other actress whose name I could not pronounce, Mira Simhan, I think that's how you say it, Mira Simhan. They play her parents, Frank and Linda, and it's one of the funnier jokes I found in here is that she's like part Jewish, part Indian, part Korean or something like that, or Japanese and Jewish. I said Jewish already, but yeah, like she's like this weird mixture of cultures and stuff like that. And it's like her dad wants her to find somebody who is has the same cultural affiliations as she does, but she doesn't want that because the only person who has that, like this weird slob looking guy, and she's just like, no, and he's not even interested in her when she's like overweight. But she ends up meeting this guy at the bar, well, not at her job rather, and before she could try to approach him for real, he disappears. But he doesn't disappear, she ends up like knocking him out, but when she turns around, she doesn't notice it, right? She didn't notice she knocked him out, and she didn't see him, so she think he left, but he's like laid out on the floor under the table or something. But this kind of leads her to find Tony Cox's character, and he's playing like a parody version of Hitch. Hitch being the Will Smith movie that came out, I think like 2005, I believe. And from there you kind of get the Hitch parody. Then you get like a Bachelor parody, and that's when and the Bachelor part was actually pretty funny too, because when the guy that she likes, what's his name? Y'all know I'm bad with names. Grant, um, who she ends up falling in love with. Like when he's picking his woman that he wants to be with, and like the ones that he doesn't want to be with, he just pulls out the shotgun and just like shoots them all down. And I thought that was really funny. Like I said, there are really funny jokes in here. There are funny gags. There are clever moments. Like they're not like the strongest, highest caliber of comedy, but it's still funny because it's driven by the plot. And that's one of the things that I was saying. I think I was saying that last week, that when the plot, and you can make fun of these things, you can make different cultural references and whatnot, but when it's driven by the plot, it's a lot funnier because it then fits in line with the characters that you're being invested in, as opposed to something like let's just say like disaster movie, which at some point I'm going to review it. I'm going to have to review it at some point. Or a disaster movie or something like that, it's just like, oh, it's jokes after jokes after jokes and references after references after references, but there's no plot. The plot is like gone. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no through line of the characters, there's no character journey. Here there's a character journey, so it makes these pop culture references, and it makes these different gags and things like that. It makes it more entertaining because you're following the character journey. So her and so Julia and Grant end up getting together, and that's when you find out they have their different trials and whatnot, tribulation, whatever the case may be. But you find out this is where the Meet the Parents parody kind of starts and kind of becomes more prominent. You find out that Grant's last name is Fuck Your Daughter. Spelled not fuck your daughter, like just like fucker. But it's spelled oh my gosh, I'm trying to see how this dude's name is spelled. Funkyerdoder, right? Funk your daughter, but it sounds like fuck your daughter, right? So you get like that whole thing, then like so many. It's just I'm trying to remember because there's like different pop culture references in that too. Besides Meet the Parents, like they do like all these different because like and at a certain point there's like there are times where they like randomly throw out these like jokes. Like there's one part like when Grant introduces Julia to his friend who happened to be his ex fiance. They do this what was it? What was the song they played? I forgot the song they played, but she was oh no, what was it? What was it? Cause I'm trying, it's coming to me. It was Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me? And it plays that song, but like in Carmen Electra's character, she's the ex fiance or whatever, the best friend, and she's like washing the car off in slow motion, bikini and everything, and take the burgers, eating it. And so like they do that. And it's like shows like how Julia gets kind of insecure about the fact that she's so hot and they used to bang and all that stuff like that. But there's like this one part where they kind of like parody Kill Bill, and it's actually one of the parts I used to laugh at a lot as a kid. But watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh, not kid, but like when I was younger. But like seeing like the part with the like they did the Kill Bill thing. It was like the so y'all, I couldn't do that. My voice was hurt. I couldn't even do it. But so they do that, but they like it kind of overstays its welcome a bit because they keep doing like the at first like they'll be having like these flash memories or something like that, like in Kill Bill, and they do the dun, 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 and somebody else will do it, then another random person will do it, then the telephone does it, and it's like, okay, all right, we get it. And they keep playing the same clip of Carmen Electra. It's like, okay, we get it, movie. You are horny for Carmen Electra, and you want us to be horny for Carmen Electra too. All right, we get it, but it's not fun. Can we please move on to the rest of the movie? Yeah, so like pretty much, and again, like I said, there's a plot because even then, like Julia, she, she gets insecure about things. She catches them kissing, and then she has to, she goes and gets real low on herself, and then the whole break up, get back together thing is very, like I say, it's a very simple plot. You just add in the different references and stuff like that. But overall, though, the movie's not it's not bad. I went into this thinking like I was gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, this is about to be terrible. I'm about to have to go in there and review this and shit all over this and talk mad trash. The cat was funny. The cat was funny. I do see a lot of people always talking about the cat. When the cat was taking the shit in the toilet, that part was funny. I'm not gonna hold you. It was gross and it kind of went on a little too long, but it was funny. Because it was a fake ass cat sitting there. Like, it was funny. I'm not gonna hold you. It was funny. And that's something I can say about the whole movie. It is funny. It does have legitimate jokes. There are moments in there that are comedic. It's just maybe not the most. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it's maybe not the most focused. It's actually a bit more focused than I anticipated being. I actually don't really have much bad to say about this film. I enjoyed watching it. It was nice checking in on this movie 20 years later and seeing that a lot of the jokes do still hold up. Eddie Griffin Eddie Griffin and Tony Cox really do kind of make this film in certain moments. They do kind of make this funny. And I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that the lead actress, the actress who plays Julia, Allison Hannigan, she was funny. No, my bad. Carmen Electra did not play the best friend. It was Sophie Monk who played the best friend, Andy. That was the name, Andy. It's Sophie Monk who played her. But no, Allison Hannigan was really good. She carried this movie. She's the main character. She did very well. Adam Campbell was really funny. There's a part where they show how him and Andy met, and he was like a prostitute, a cross-dressing prostitute on the streets, and it was just funny. It was ridiculous, but it's funny. But however lenient I can be on this film after watching it and finding the humor in it, critics, however, have not been very kind to this film. This film sits at a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb. People despise this movie. People despise this movie. However, I am much different. I am not people. I am me. I'm Dave. And I'm gonna give you my honest opinion is I actually did enjoy watching this movie again. I was invested. I was not annoyed by the pop culture jokes. And after spending the past couple of weeks watching, I watched the newer Naked Gun, the Fackham Hall, sitting down and watching this, I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was bad. My rating for this, I would say I can give it a solid 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 stars. It's halfway there for me. Okay, I don't have a problem with it. Is it childish at some points? Yes. Is it juvenile humor? Yes, but it's also a parody movie. Okay, and there are much, much, much worse than this. Okay, so I actually did enjoy it. If you want to watch Date Movie, you can check it out now. It is streaming on the likes of Prime Video. If you have Amazon Prime, you can check it out there. And I think it was streaming somewhere else, but I can't remember. I know I watched it on Prime, though. But I think it's also somewhere else, but I can't recall 100%. But check it out, watch it, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. And like I said, be on the lookout for the Capital City Anime Fest in Trenton, New Jersey. I'll be there doing the panel. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Stay tuned for next week as we will be wrapping up our April Fool. I'm exciting stuff in the pipeline. Can't wait. But that's it, man. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. The like button, comment, all that good stuff. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy. Peace. My milkshake brings other girls to the yard and they're like, it's better than yours, damn right. It's better than yours. I can teach you, but I had to try. That's a bad big joke. Peace.